not saying it a lot, but just the colours popping, kid.
Have you paid enough attention to be able to replicate it when he's not here?
No.
No. Good. All right.
Just remember, bounce out of the ceiling.
Bounce that up
this
there.
one down to about 20%.
Yeah.
And this one just get it.
Oh, this is on.
Yeah, so this one very low.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Carl was basically paying pretty close attention to the setup. So
I loved it. I love a bit of tech.
He might have to be here for future recordings.
Yeah, we're going to have to FaceTime you in.
Yeah. Carl Donnelly, you're not allowed to leave the country. You must be around.
Yeah.
Set up.
I'm up for
Lighting consultant.
Yeah.
/ comedian. I like it. Yeah. But it's just, God, I just getting lost in myself here. It's like, having Skype sex. It's like, is there anyone else in the room? Just making eye contact with me. You guys on that? No. Okay. Just me. No. Just me aging myself.
Low lighting.
Low lighting.
Well, for any online sexual behaviours, it should be low lighting, shouldn't it?
I imagine so. Conceptually.
Yeah. He's actually an online sex virgin. Fucking loser. Can you imagine rinsing someone for that? You don't even know what angle to use, do you?
You ever had a Skype wank, you loser.
And you can't use that excuse if she lives in a different country. Like, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, she actually goes to a different school. They use FaceTime. That's the thing. I always feel like I age myself because for me, it'll always be Skype sex because that was my era of jerking off into a camera.
Yeah.
As opposed to Zoom sex?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Or Microsoft Teams sex?
Microsoft Teams sex?
Riverside.fm sex. No, I think
the video quality bad, but the audio unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it was even before FaceTime, really, wasn't it? FaceTime's always been there, but I think Skype was that was my era of it as well.
Yeah, you thought like the Swedes were happy with you.
Yeah.
Like if any nation was like, "Oi, jerk off on this technology."
Yeah. Wait, Skype is Swedish?
I believe so.
Oh. Do you know that, Carl?
I thought it might be Scandinavian, but I didn't know it was actually. I hadn't narrowed it down.
You're in the region?
I believed it was Swedish, but the Estonians also have a claim on it.
Okay. Best of luck with that, Estonia.
Wait, not Estonia. Lithuania? No, it is Estonia. It is Estonia. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I apologize.
Apologies.
Any Estonian listeners? Yeah. Look, man, you never know.
Almost taking that away from them.
Look, I've got one Moldovan fan. Like he was there in Melbourne. Good guy.
What's his name?
Tolly.
Tolly.
Yeah, it's short for something.
Yeah, I reckon Anatoly.
Well,
is that a name? That's a name.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an Estonian name.
Everything's a name if you say it, I suppose, and call somebody it.
Finally, some philosophy on this thing. Everything's a name, mate. Yeah. What are we doing here? Yeah, but no, I learned that in Estonia because you've probably done some gigs.
I've not done. I have been to Estonia. I went to Estonia on a stag do.
Oh yeah,
it's one of the grossest weekends of my life.
Sounds about right.
The British like to colonise on a stag do. I noticed that over there. You very rarely do it at home. You want to hit continental Europe.
I will say in our defence, I'd say it's British and Irish.
And Irish.
The Irish don't get away with scot-free.
The first
Irish, some of the they love a stag do overseas.
The first fleet was just a harbour cruise that got out of hand.
Yeah.
Call the marriage off. We're staying. Have you seen the weather here? And all these convicts are pretty hot. There's some hot babes. I love that in my head for a second there. I was like, could women be prisoners back then? The past.
Yeah, I reckon. I do think anyone could be a prisoner back then.
Anything
could be in now. I don't know why I keep dropping these big philosophies.
Anyone could be a prisoner, mate. Anything could be a name.
Back then, anyone could be a prisoner, but they were pretty specific about names. It had to be in the Bible.
It was basically George or Georgina.
Yes.
I was going to say Georgette. I'm like, not a name, but
anything's a name.
Anything's a name.
I guarantee that is a name. If you Googled it, you'd find a Georgette, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you think Georgette is the name of someone you'd like? Because I don't.
Isn't it George Foreman, boxer, called all his children a version of George?
Is that right?
So he's got like 9 kids.
That's
and
amazing.
all the boys are called George Jr. And the girls are all called things like Georgina, Georgette. I mean, I'm saying Georgette could be one of them.
Yeah, do you want to do you want to rescind your statement now, Dan, knowing that the world's baddest man might have been listening? What if
George Foreman's not the world's baddest man?
Not the world's baddest man.
He's the world's most famous grill. I'll give you that.
Have you seen the biopic film of like George Foreman's life.
I have not.
Have I been saying biopic the wrong way this whole time?
I've probably said it wrong.
Biopic? Is that?
It's probably biopic.
That's
yeah.
very.
Did I say
like
biopic?
that. No, you said I say biopic.
You
said
say
biopic.
Oh no, you have been saying it wrong. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was your mistake.
Can we edit away me being polite, please?
Yeah, actually, I didn't want to bring this up, but in another episode, you did say brevity is the heart of wit.
Soul of wit.
Soul of wit. I listened back to the recording. I was like, what a dumb
I know.
cunt.
I could be saying it wrong now. Again, you know.
Don't say that. This guy's already been wrong before, at least once.
But
Quoting Shakespeare being wrong.
the George Foreman one is like, I quite like a sports biopic. And I hate a musical biopic film.
Oh, okay.
But like, I find them just, you know, there's always so wet, and there's that thing of like, they'll hear somebody will say a word, and then it's like, well, that's where I first heard the word blackbird, and then it's like, this is how they wrote the. Yeah, it's always they telegraph everything in those films. Whereas sports films, they don't have that. They don't have the lyrics to like sort of telegraph. So I prefer them. But the George Foreman one I watched on a plane, and it is dog shit. It's shit.
You're like, get to the grill.
Yeah. I don't even think it gets to the grill. I might have tapped. Actually, do you know what? I might have tapped out before the grill.
Didn't make it to the final round?
No.
A TKO.
I went down in the middle rounds.
I was bored. I took a knee. 10 count was on. Do you find this? This might be a weird reveal. This might be an entry into soft cock corner, which is what we call it when we talk about feelings here.
Yes.
I find I'm more prone to cry at a movie on a plane.
Absolutely.
It's a thing.
It's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
You
a
are.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I thought I was just a fucking loser. A fucking soft cunt. That's what I thought.
My dad left me on a plane.
Can you imagine? I'm going out for a pack of cigarettes. What? Just goes out with a parachute. You're like, oh.
They're cheap and duty free.
I don't think he's coming back.
No, it is. I think that is a well-trodden sort of fact, like that. It's you get more emotional at altitude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, which
Okay.
does take the edge off. You know, sort of the air forces. Being, you know what I mean? We think of them as like, you know. Have you seen Masters of the Air, the Apple TV?
No.
But it's like, I don't know why I just keep talking about films and TV, but you know, Band of Brothers, and in the Pacific they've made a new one called Masters of the Air about the Air Force in World War II. Also dog shit, actually. But yeah, like, you know, you think of all like army pilots is really hard, but now knowing that you get emotional up there, they're all just crying in the skies.
I do like the idea of that, where it's just like, how long are you going to be my wingman, Maverick? Do you think this will last forever?
Yeah.
I think it will. Tom.
He would have handled losing Goose a lot better at sea level.
True, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's why, just now we know. But yeah, I once cried very like heavily in front of the comedian Shappy Corsandi on a plane, because we were both flying to Melbourne, and she was on one side of the plane, I was on the other side of the plane, and so every hour we'd do a little loop by and have a little chat, just sort of to break up the time. And I watched the film 12 Years a Slave, having not seen it.
On a plane?
On a plane. I mean,
That's
that is
heaps.
a risk.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was a terrible mistake. And there's that sort of, I mean, I want to say, is it a spoiler alert? If you haven't seen it by now, it's on you, isn't it? But it's there's a scene when he sort of finally cracks and loses all hope. It's one of the saddest things. And I'd been drinking white wine as well, like crying juice, and I just started bawling my eyes out. I'd let you know my I don't know if it was with my ex-wife or my now wife, but you know, I think I was just emotional at the best of times then. But like, yeah, I was in full hysterical tears as she came around to do a loop, and she leant in and went, I'll come back in a bit, and just left me just crying in my seat.
Just like, turns out Carl doesn't know anything about history. He's like, we did what to these people? Oh my God, this is tragic.
Have you heard about this?
I cried as well, but for the cotton farmers.
Oh man, their margins.
I know. What happened to them after they ended, eh? We never think about those guys. Well, they just go back to the normal workforce. But yeah, it was embarrassing.
I just think that's such a risk on a plane.
12 Years a Slave.
That'd be like, can you imagine on a plane walking past some guy, Schindler's List just on?
Yeah.
You're like, why?
Yeah. Do you know, I really, on a different jet, I remember once flying to, I know it was to Melbourne from London, and I sat next to a guy from Dubai, And on the first leg from London to Dubai, I'd watched Whiplash for the first time.
Love
And it's
Whiplash.
such a great film. So I was like, he was the first person I spoke to, basically. I sat next to this guy on the next leg to Melbourne, and he was going on to Perth afterwards. Maybe I was going to Perth. But anyway, we just got chatting, and turns out he was Scottish, and he was worked on the mines and all that. And then we were like, so we were talking about, are you going to watch some films? Yeah. We were getting on really well. And then for some reason, I went, mate, have you seen Whiplash? And he was like, no. And I just started really waxing lyrical about Whiplash. And I was like, mate, you've got to watch it, honestly. That's my one big tip. You've got to watch Whiplash. At no point did I think this might not be his thing. And then he obviously, I think he felt obliged to then watch Whiplash because I'd been so like, you've got to put it on now. Like,
This is your neighbour.
yeah, now
on the
this is my
plane.
neighbour for 13 hours.
Oh.
And then he put Whiplash on, and I sat next to him as I watched him hate that film so much. And I felt so guilty, like, because I could just tell, when like sort of you can just tell when somebody's hating something, but he couldn't turn it off because he felt obliged to get through it.
He didn't turn it off. He went the whole way.
He went the whole way, just like. And afterwards, he didn't say anything to me about Whiplash.
Even though I kept talking about it.
11 hours more, he didn't mention the film I'd recommended to him.
God.
I was like, I've done it. I've ruined that.
It's like when you're showing your friend like a funny video on YouTube, you're like, this bit, wait, watch this.
And
I
they're
think you
like,
missed the setup. I'm going to rewind.
oh, it's the worst. And they just go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much pressure though.
It's too much pressure.
Have you ever done the thing like at the Airbnb, like Bucks Party scenario? Everyone's on a bit of gear. There's a TV playing music videos, and you're like, "I'll take the ball, captain."
Oh, man, come on.
And then you chuck it on, and they're just like, "Oh," and you're like, "No."
Especially when there's been a hot streak and everyone's
Absolutely.
nailing it, and you're the one who kills it. That is the end of the world.
I've done that because I'll try too hard. When on the drug cocaine, I'm gonna like, you guys are gonna love this. It's not an obvious choice, it's a niche choice, and everyone's like, what are you doing?
I know.
You're talking about the B-side.
Yeah.
You're wasting money. We're just doing the counter. You guys ever do the cab meter on cocaine where it's like, this is how much money is going down while I'm in the middle of this horrific anecdote.
You're like, it's not technically a music video, but it is a movie about music, and you play Whiplash.
Dude, this is Carl Donnelly's favorite film. You're gonna love this.
Gotta watch the whole thing. Yeah.
I remember being with you in a motel I can't remember where we were. In Albury, was it?
Maybe.
Where we were staying, and we went back and we started watching music videos on YouTube, and you put on a live Lady Gaga performance
From Glastonbury.
and then you searched for the whole set from Glastonbury.
Oh my God.
I was like, this is a very bold choice. Like
Yeah,
52
that is.
minutes.
But in my defense, he just made me go to 2 separate McDonald's so he could get a McFlurry.
Okay.
So I could do whatever I wanted from that point.
Yeah. What do you mean? You wanted 2 McFlurries or one didn't have one?
One didn't have one.
Right.
And then no, we've talked about this on the podcast before. It's been a point of tension.
Tom
Which
wants
shows
to
you how
defend
low
himself.
stakes this podcast is. The first request to go and get a McFlurry, Dan was not happy about, but he
Okay.
acquiesced.
Yeah.
We were in the line to get through. The people in front of us will take a very long time. We get to the window. Ice cream machine's broken. All right.
man.
So we leave, and then we're going back.
We're talking like 15 minutes in this fucking drive-through thing, by the way.
Shit.
I wasn't in the car in front, to be clear. I was not the reason we were in
Yeah.
the drive for 15 minutes. We leave, we're going back to... Dan's already fuming. And we're going back to the motel, and we are passing another McDonald's in the distance. I don't say a word, because
Okay.
I've learnt my lesson.
Yeah.
Dan goes, do you want to try again?
Yeah.
And I said...
That's nice.
Only if you won't get mad at me.
I don't know.
Here I am 6 months later, clearly not mad at him. Not bringing it up anymore. But I mean, look, this is the thing, because in the UK, you've done your own tours and you've been tour support, right?
Yeah.
And as someone who's doing tour support, you don't get to have suggestions.
I don't know. Well, it depends. It depends who you're like. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends what the person you're touring with's like. I've toured with mates who aren't that great at making decisions. So
Uh-huh.
actually, and also if the tour manager's not somebody who's on the ball with what you're into, often like I've found myself being sort of the entertainment officer on a tour where I'll always by the end of the show it's like, all right, I found a cool place for us to have a drink. I like that. I'm an organizer. So I think actually but it's totally dependent on the whole tour group.
The dynamic.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. I think like you know, as Tom will tell, and as you probably surmised about me by this point, I don't like to do anything. I just like to sit around and seethe.
Yeah.
Just furious
and watch
that
Lady
there aren't-
Gaga.
Yeah,
Plastic
calm down.
sets.
She's a really born entertainer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, but she was born this way.
Have I watched A Star Is Born on a plane?
Did you cry?
Mate, I cried so hard at that
Yes.
film. I put it off because I had no interest in watching that film at all when it came out. And then everyone liked it and it did well. And I was on a flight and I was like, oh, go on in. And in my head, because I thought it was going to be a plane film. You know, plane films like it's almost a non-entity, something you can just have on in the background while you just...
Oh, I thought you thought it was like a film about planes.
No.
And I was really baffled. This is how A Star Is Born. We're just going to fucking, you know.
No, you're thinking about Sully.
But that's what I saw. I just thought it was going to be like an emotional, sort of vapid, empty film. I didn't realize it was really sad. So it killed me. That was a big one on like in terms of the tears.
It snuck up on you.
And what did the guy sitting next to you think of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, actually got a whole plane to watch that one. I got on the intercom.
That's a great film. I really loved Star Is
I
Born.
loved it. It changed my view of Bradley Cooper.
Oh yeah,
You didn't like it before that?
Well, I just always thought he was a bit of a pretty boy, you know, sort of okay actor. Sort of. I always used to put him in the same. Trying to think category of say like a Ryan Reynolds type.
Oh,
you know,
Ryan Reynolds.
I do. I like these people, but they're not going to be in my tier of like they're a great actor. I think they're a good actor. You could put in pretty much anything, and they're super watchable. But I didn't think they had proper chops to get you in there. And then Bradley Cooper, it turns out, has it. He's done it in a few films since as well.
where would you put Hugh Jackman? Is he in the?
Absolutely not in it. No. But yeah, I like it. Again, he's somebody I would watch in anything.
Yeah.
But I'm never. You know, I don't think I've ever seen him do something that's like torn me apart. You
I
know,
think it's that kind of thing where it's like if they're in the movie, you're not sure if it's going to be a good movie. Whereas like certain actors, if they're in it, you're like it's going to be good.
I'd almost say the opposite. I'd say if they're in the film, I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to enjoy watching that film. But I never think I'm going to love that film.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like I need somebody who's a bit more almost divisive but I think it's great to like love a film.
Because I thought Bradley Cooper in Licorice Pizza. That's when I was like, man,
he's so good
he
in
was
that.
great in that, wasn't he?
he just
he's
stole
brilliant.
it. It was amazing. And
Yeah.
it's so out against type for
Yeah.
him.
Well, that's what I mean. And I think when I saw him in A Star Is Born as well, it's like, oh, he's got that skill. And then I saw him in, Licorice Pizza. He's got that skill. I watched him in Maestro. I thought he was absolutely fantastic in that as well.
Haven't seen Maestro. I think I just
Not a great film,
what
but
I
he's very
figured
good
out
in it.
is I haven't seen enough films, and I think it's because I don't fly from London to Melbourne enough. That seems to be the crucial thing.
I really like, because I've got a 3 3/4-year-old. I don't get to watch a lot of films. So whenever I fly now, I just like, I will leave London and for 24 hours watch films. Like
You
it's
don't
almost
sleep,
like
you just go.
I'm straight through crew.
Straight through crew.
I will nail like 9 films on the way to Australia just because I've not had the chance for 4 months or something. So it's like my quarterly.
I knew someone like that who would genuinely like sleep before the flight so they could stay up on the flight to just
movies.
maximize
Yeah.
their in-flight entertainment time.
And are you bringing on an iPad, or are you just dealing with whatever the system's got for
I'm
you?
trusting the system.
Yeah, okay.
I might have a couple of podcasts downloaded, but I'd say 99% of the time they're not even getting played.
Yeah, wow.
I'm straight on. And also, even if there's not a new film I've not seen that I really want to see, I've got like a good backlog of classics that I'll always watch.
Yeah.
But I reckon I've watched The Godfather probably on a long haul flight once a year for the last 10 years.
I was going to ask you to rewatch it because like my in-flight rewatch staple, The Departed. Just
That's another one of mine as well.
absolute classic.
You can just you just know you're going to enjoy it.
It's going to be a fun time.
Brilliant. It's not a fun time. It's a really dark, depressing time. But it's but yeah, you just know you're just going to be into it.
Dude, if you crying during The Departed, is that what you're trying to say here, Carl Donnelly? You're
I
just
don't
like,
think I have cried. It's not really a cry. Scorsese
Absolutely
films
not.
aren't really cry
No, they're
films,
fun.
are they?
they're fun. You don't think they're fun? I think they're fun.
Well, I mean, did you watch Killers of the Flower Moon?
No,
Not fun.
not fun.
Not fun. Really, not fun. That one. He's making a biopic of Frank Sinatra
I've
next.
heard.
With,
Very excited.
Who's playing
Leo.
Sinatra? Leo's going to play.
Leo's playing Sinatra.
Yes.
That's good.
That's very
Good.
good.
That is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
He is good, isn't he? Like when it's like, when it's like Leonardo DiCaprio, not just like when he's just in something, I'm like, it'll be good.
Well, yeah, because he's very,
I just trust it.
He picks very carefully.
More so than any product, I think. Like, I think I trust Leonardo DiCaprio more than the iPhone.
I love this attempt at us turning this into a movie podcast, and our hottest take is Leonardo DiCaprio is quite good, isn't he? He's pretty good.
I'd watch whatever his is. This is good gear. This is like 90s radio.
Like, can you think of a bad film he's been in? I think there's films that probably wouldn't make it into his top tier of, The Beach. Decent film, but it's not a classic. Is it?
That's true.
And but I'd say he's got a pretty solid repertoire.
But the beach is like, have you been to Thailand?
Yes.
Have you been to that beach?
No.
I thought like that was that movie's power, that suddenly everybody was, where is it? Is it Koh Phangan? No.
I can't remember. Koh Samui? No,
it's not Koh Samui. It's Koh Phi Phi? Maybe it's Koh Phi Phi.
Okay.
It might be that. And it's just like, you're just there and everyone's like, why are we here? It's like, oh, because there was this Leonardo DiCaprio movie, The Beach.
Yeah.
We wanted to see the beach from the beach.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is it? It's good.
It's a beach.
It's a good beach, bro.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Have you ever talked to people that went to Thailand back in the day?
What's back in the day?
Like 30 years ago.
Oh, no.
You talk to these people, like they talk about it like, you had to be there. Like, there was no tourists. It's like, well, you were fucking there, weren't you? I hate them people. I've even been guilty of it. I remember traveling around India and we went off the grid away from any of the places that people go to.
Just you and Rudyard Kipling hanging out.
But then I remember telling people about we were like, we went there was no tourists. The irony of saying that is you're an idiot.
That is like one of my favorites. So I'm like that. I'm like, who the fuck would be here now? When there's like a parking space, like you want a desk at a cafe. Like, what the fuck are these? What kind of loser would be here at this time? I say, observing it firsthand. Like, straight up. I'm just like, why the fuck? Like, it drives me crazy though, because like, I feel like maybe post-COVID is like the shift, like the work from home thing. I feel like I used to have the day kind of to myself.
Yes.
Whereas now I'm just like, I'm living in Coogee now and like, they're just, there's people all the time.
Yeah.
What do you people do? Like, you're
not
working
comedian.
from home.
You're not working from home either. You're all in the out. You're out.
You're just walking.
You're all out in the places I am.
Taking calls on the beach. I'm waving at you.
I agree. I think that's everywhere. London, there are people everywhere now, all day, every day.
I used to like it when there were windows where I could avoid them.
Definitely.
That was
it used
nice.
to be like, that morning rush hour type thing when everyone goes to work. That would finish and you'd get a lovely 3-hour window where the shops were quiet, everything was quiet. You could just do, you had your...
You could potter.
You could.
You could meander.
No pottering nowadays.
None of that.
The only real experience I have of that is taking sick days. And just kind of walking around like a busy street and being like, I'm not meant to be here.
Yeah.
This is me and Carl's time.
Yeah.
You back off.
And tourists.
And tourists.
Give them, they're allowed.
Are they?
No.
This is Australia. This is Australia, man. We don't like immigration short or long term or medium term.
I find I'm definitely more
racist.
I'm gonna say not racist, maybe xenophobic towards tourists than I am any sort of migrant. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing where people always go on about immigration, but like people that can come here and just slot in and work, good on them. It's the people that visit. Like they're the ones that stand in shop doorways talking. And they're like, fucking move, man. Do you know what I mean?
Get out of my country or stay here forever.
Either live here or fuck off.
It is so true though, because like it's just like, oh, we got a new housemate. Who's this cunt sleeping on the couch? Like,
that's true.
Get him out. I don't want him here. He's annoying. He's not buying anything.
Exactly. I get tourism is a big part of the economy, but I think tourists are more problematic than we give them credit for.
Yeah. I'm certainly more problematic as a tourist, I would say.
I mentioned stag do's and in
Estonia.
Tourists are the worst.
No one's a
myself
good version
included
of themselves overseas.
No.
I don't think.
Why would you go overseas? You're going to be a good version of yourself.
Totally.
Exactly.
Do that at home.
Can you imagine sorting your rubbish in another country?
I know, yeah.
No way.
Because there's no...
Oh, is this the recycling bin, is it? Throw it at your fucking head.
But that's because there's no reason to integrate.
No.
If you move somewhere, you integrate. That's the way it works. That's how the world works. But if you're actually just a tourist, you don't give a shit about learning the ways, the customs.
No way.
I'm on holiday, mate. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Dude, it's
That's
like,
why, oh, God.
Have you ever like, I know this is a weird thing, but like when like a homeless guy is like, hey, do you have any change? And it's like, not your suburb. And it's like, I'm supporting a family back home. Like, you got your own guys around here. Like, I'm taking care of this ride. I got my guy, all right? And I give him money sometimes.
One of them moments where when you have given change, like you've given somebody change, and then, 10 minutes later, somebody else asks for change. You can't help but go, sorry, man, I gave it to someone else. It's always you're just saying, just so you know, I'm really...
Yeah,
I'm
might
really,
know him. I don't do
If you ask my name, what are you doing? Yeah.
Dude, I had a guy in Melbourne, he was like, any change? And I was like, I guess I've been here for a month. I got to give it to someone.
Yeah.
But I gave him $4. And he was like, could have been a note, and walked off. And I was like, I'm $1 short, brother.
Yeah.
You're like, wait here. I'll be back.
I mean, I get it, but come on. You give them something. I'm not saying you should get gratitude, but you shouldn't get
I shouldn't get gratitude?
Well, no, but I don't mean, I don't want sort of like that. I don't want to fawn over me if I give them money. But I also don't. I don't want them to make a dig about how little I've given them.
Yeah.
I think there is a sort of an unspoken rule of like, just go, cheers, mate, and I'll do my sort of. There you go. And like we've had a little exchange.
Because it's like could have been a note. It's like it could have been nothing, cunt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you're about this. Like, I don't want gratitude. I'm like, if I give a homeless guy money, I'm expecting him to follow me around for a few minutes talking about how big my cock is to the general public. That's what I'd like. Hey, this guy, this big dick motherfucker just gave me $4. Good guy. Ladies, he's married. You missed out. Whatever.
just pay a homeless guy to walk behind you and flyer.
Yeah. Did I tell you this story? Because I had that bit last year in my show about advertising on homeless people.
Right.
I think that's what we should do. It's better in the bit.
Yeah. Well, it needs a bit of context.
As a standalone idea, quite rude, but in the bit, it
yeah.
makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so I had this joke like the whole month of Melbourne. Then one night I was walking home like drunk, and in the bit I talk about KFC would be a good advertisement for homeless people to have. It's like, did someone say KFC?
Right.
It's like a pullback reveal, kind of like blah blah blah. Did someone say KFC with the sign? And so I was walking by this homeless guy, and he points at me, and he goes, "Did someone say KFC?" And I was like, "Are they listening?" What? Like it's just like it's like John Wick, like Morpheus is fucking getting all these guys into a team, and they're a surveillance network. And I had this like triple take on it. Then I realized I was wearing my custom tracksuit at the time, and my head as a stencil kind of looks like the Colonel. So he's just seen that, and I was like, fair play. Gave him $10.
Yeah.
He got a note.
No, I've seen you. You're quite. You're pretty good with money for the homeless people. I've seen you do that a few times.
Yeah, I gave Tom $4 to say that.
Could have been a note.
I mean, it's at the time. Like, I think it's got to be like, if you give every time, that's crazy. If you never give, that's crazy.
Yes.
But if it's just like in context, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like we're on.
There's a guy at Central Station in that kind of long tunnel that sort of links underneath whatever the main road is, and he's there playing guitar or accordion every morning.
Ooh, nice,
really good at both.
Yeah,
Great
yeah,
voice.
yeah.
And every time I pass, I'm like, I would give you money, but I have nothing. You know what I mean? Like I don't carry a card. I don't carry cash. I got nothing.
You don't carry a
Carry
card?
a card?
No.
What you
Just your phone.
Oh, you just got. I've never used it for.
Really?
Thank you.
Apple Pay.
Thank you for being one
I
of
don't
me.
know why. I just
Why?
like it's still. So that is one step too far for me. I can do it on my watch, but I've never done that. I'm just
Oh,
like, I'm
yeah,
not
okay.
doing it on my. I'm not going to swipe my wrist to pay for something.
It's so close to the watch being gone and it being a chip.
Yes.
I don't like that.
You don't think the
In your
watch has a
head.
chip?
And
No,
then
no,
you
but
got
just
to
like
scan
in the
your head.
skin.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just like, it's
like,
just like, eh.
No,
It's
yeah.
like, don't worry, Daniel Muggleton, we scanned your face. You just paid $20. It's like, what? No, why?
But I find it. Yeah, my wife will go out just with her phone, nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm just like, what is that? I need my keys, my wallet. I need all these things.
Dude,
My
chicks
wallet
will-
has all my cards, driving license. I'm traveling like, if I have to run away, I'm all right. Do you know what I mean?
2 passports.
Yeah. Got my little go bag and under a floorboard with $10,000 in cash.
Dude, that's so funny because, like, yeah, one thing with Mary that I find baffling is, like, if I have keys, she will not take keys.
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm like,
It's not-
but
we don't
what
know
if we misplace my keys? Which is like,
Absolutely.
but you have them.
Everyone should have keys.
Everyone should have keys all the time.
Fuck, yeah. That is, I'm the same, like, yeah, my wife would come back and just knock on the door. And I'll go and answer it. Like, where's your keys? She went, I didn't bring them. So who doesn't bring keys out if you live in a house?
Did I find it? I'll bring keys with me when I leave the country. Like, I've brought keys to, like, London for here.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like, what if
Yeah.
I get lost, get the plane back, then I'm locked out. That's a bad start.
Do you know what? I genuinely like bring my passport everywhere. Like sort of. So I'm staying in Melbourne. But I'm just flown into Sydney for a couple of days. No reason to bring my passport. You know, I'm just travelling interstate, and like all my stuff to go back to London is in Melbourne, where I'm going to go back and pack up and leave. But I brought my passport to Sydney. Again, it's that pure thing of like, what if I need to run? I don't know what from. I've never ever committed a crime big enough to need that, but I think it's genuine in there somewhere. One day, it's like if I ever need to go, I just need my passport with me at all times.
This is one of the great like Chekhov's guns of the podcast. It's like, what is Carl running from? Potentially. I mean, he's made it very clear that he's ready to run. There must be some kind of motivation here.
Just you doing the intro to the podcast. But today we had Carl Donnelly on the podcast. If anyone has seen him, can you please get in touch?
Dude, yeah, it's just I get it though. Like I do, I want to have the stuff just in case.
Absolutely.
Whereas like Mary's just like, but you've got keys.
Fuck that.
Why do we both need keys? And I'm like,
God.
What if I run away with Carl Donnelly?
Yeah.
Then you're locked out. Your husband's gone. It's confusing.
What if you're separated in a emergency? An earthquake. I don't know. But I'm just thinking anything could happen where you both get separated.
Like the Fisher comes between us walking down the street. Right? He's like, oh no, throw the keys over. It's too risky. You've got your own, right? No. Oh shit. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but I'm glad you're not. What about Beatty? Beatty's taking her own keys?
I think so.
Beatty strikes me as a key taker.
Yeah, I imagine so.
She's a prepared woman.
A key taker.
Yeah, I reckon it's more likely she'd have keys than I would.
Right.
But I don't think is she wallet. I think she's wallet, but the handbag opens up a world of possibilities. I think.
Yes.
But sometimes they don't take that. They're like, oh, just give us a pocket.
Yeah.
Nah.
Give us a pocket for the lip gloss, the phone.
Nah,
Well, that's
I've never
what I
had
think because my wife's not really a handbag sort of woman.
Yeah, right.
So she is like, she'll have a little denim jacket on and she'll just have her phone and that'll do everything for her in the day. And to me, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm not far away.
I'm more likely to carry a bag than she is. I like a little flight bag is what they call them.
Flight bag.
A flight bag. It's a little tiny one, and you can keep your passport, your wallet, your keys, your headphones, charger wire, sunglasses, everything you need fits in that little thing. And it's if you did have to run, you've got everything. Yeah.
Never suggested you'd have to, but if you did,
just thinking,
if you chose to run, yeah.
But yeah, it's a good. It's weird that I'm the sort of bag carrier.
I just like having the stuff.
Yeah.
The idea of it all on a phone. Like, there are like tasks. Like, let's say like a short flight, like Sydney to Melbourne, I will book on my phone.
Yeah.
Whereas a long flight, I'd prefer the laptop.
I'm not booking a long haul flight on my phone.
Totally. Right?
Yeah. I mean, and even airlines almost like I'll book a cheap flight on my phone if I'm going sort of nice airline. A bit of Qantas, bit of Virgin Australia. I'm getting a laptop out, mate. I'm treating myself.
You don't want Ryanair just on like this size display. You're like, yuck. EasyJet.
It's going to be a problem if you need to flee and you've only got your flight bag.
It's true, actually.
You have to fly Tiger. Fuck.
That's weird, but yeah, that's a funny one though. I do travel light as well, so there's other things I would do that almost sound a bit contradictory. So like, I very rarely take my laptop if I'm away for like, a week.
You won't take your laptop if you're away for a week?
Yeah.
I find that mental.
See, that's weird. That is, I understand because I'll say that and my wife won't understand that. But she won't have keys on her, but she'd take her laptop out. And I'm just like, see, this is where you got your priorities from.
What if we need to book a flight?
Exactly, yeah.
What if to get away in style?
Yeah. That is obviously the downside if I do need to book a high-end flight while I'm away.
Dude, yeah, I need because like even just like go work in like some people just do everything on their phone. They'll edit like a photo on their phone, and I'm like, what? That's a laptop task.
No, see, I'll do that. I'd be more inclined to do that on my phone.
Edit a video on your phone?
Yep.
You used to do that.
I can't do because I don't know how to do it on the laptop.
I used to, but then like the laptop is like nicer.
Yeah.
So like I like I
like it.
Like sometimes I'll just get a mouse out.
Ooh, a mouse?
Oh
Feels good.
God.
You own a mouse?
I own a mouse.
Bluetooth?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, baby, I got a mouse. It's got 2 spinning wheels. It's got a top and a side. Yeah, not a big deal. During lockdown, I had a lot of time to research the best mice.
do you write comedy on your laptop?
I don't write anything.
Oh, that's good. It shows. No. No. You walked into that.
I wish I had a go bag. But I got to leave the country. Well, I got zinged by Donnelly.
I never do, because I know. Yeah, I've got comedian friends who will say like, "I'm going to do some writing," and they'll go and write it like they're writing a book.
He's got a little journal.
Yeah, but I've got a notebook.
Yep.
I've got a number of different notebooks, and then everything else. But I normally don't carry that with me. That's for when I actually want to write. But most of my stuff starts in my phone.
Yeah,
in the notes app. That's where any idea starts. And if I think it's good enough after about a week, it comes out of the notes into the notebook. And once it's written in there, it's got a chance of being said out loud.
And do you expand on it in the notebook, or you just translating it from one to the other?
But it's one to the other, but then in them transferring, often a few ideas will come up.
Okay.
And then it's on stage, and I just go for it on stage and just riff on it, and then work backwards from there. So it's written sort of, it's the opposite. And I'll just talk it at length. And there'll be loads of fat on it, and it won't be very. But then I'll sort of start paring it back, and then it goes back into the notebook. And it's only when I start writing a full hour that I get all the bits that I'm happy enough with to go onto an actual computer sheet.
Yeah,
a sheet.
Well, I get a blank document.
Is it a bullet point? No.
At that point, it's bullet points. And actually, I never write anything out in longhand. I'm never writing sort of like, and then I was at the bus stop and that feels weird to me.
It's on the bus stop, ready to run, ready to go. A one-way bus ticket to the airport to buy a very cheap flight out of here. I'm telling you, I'm flying Bonza. I'm going to Coffs Harbour. We're going to start again. I'm on a banana farm.
I'll go buy an internet cafe and treat myself.
Oh yeah, internet cafes, are they still around?
I imagine they're still around. Right?
I've been wanting to treat myself to an internet cafe for a very long time.
We could do...
Go in there and game.
We could do a Flog cabin LAN party.
Dude.
But you'd have to play Dota. I've never played Dota. Are you into this at all, Carl?
Well, I don't know what
Counter-Strike?
Words of men.
Nah,
We can play Counter-Strike.
I can play Counter-Strike. We can get
Yeah,
into
we
that.
talked about Counter-Strike on the pod at one point because I used to play video games in like high school.
Right.
With Koreans, pretty good.
Yeah. Which, when you say play video games, what do you mean?
Like computer games.
I know, yeah, but when you say I used to play them in high school, like
I was pretty
just at home,
pretty into it. Like go to like internet cafes.
Oh, you'd actually go and do
that
them.
time of his life.
Yeah,
Yes,
like I'd spent a lot of time.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
You're a gamer.
I was
gamer.
gaming, at that
Right.
time, and I knew stuff about computers, and that is
Okay.
gone.
Yeah.
The door is shut. But every now and again, I see internet
That
cafe, and I'm like,
should have stopped because you have grown up. I've got a real, and this isn't. No, I mean, I want to say it's not a judgment. It is a judgment, but
it's very fine to be judgmental on this podcast.
Like,
don't pair this
just
back, brother.
People in their
2 foot.
40s who are gamers. I can't or even 30s. Like I'm 42. Like if I've got one friend in my circle of friends that plays computer games. And like has a PC that he's built himself, and he's into all them games.
Is it like multicolor and shit?
And we ripped the shit out of him for that because we're like, you're 42, you're a father, and that is, we make sure he feels embarrassed about it.
And is it effective? Has he stopped?
No, because he knows it's all in good, it's in jest. But it is a genuine judgment.
It's in jest, but I do mean it.
Yeah.
He knows it's in jest, and he's wrong.
Yeah. But no, but it's sort of a weird one where it's fine. It's not a genuine judgment in that I'm not telling him he has to change, but I can't help it if somebody tells me that, if I hear a 40-year-old man talking about the new Fortnite, I don't know, whatever, Fallout game, I'm always like, what are you talking about? Just fucking don't just like sports and grow up. It's weirdly.
That is what I like.
Yeah.
And it is good. And it's normal.
It's just one of them weird things where I go to theatre. I'm into the arts and all that, but for some reason when it comes to like, I'm really judgy of like certain people's tastes.
I mean, in fairness, like as the little Australian in me just came in, like I go to the theatre, I'm like,
yeah, exactly. But that's
all right, man.
But I swear, I've got mates who judge me for that as well. So
Yeah.
I get that that's the fun part of it.
But do you do the thing with sport where you turn it into like a game again? Because like that's the thing. People are like, fuck video games. Oh, fucking sport's sick. But then like they start gambling on sport, or they start fantasy teams.
No, see, I don't do any of that.
Get about FIFA at all?
I'd say I've played it in the past.
Okay, but not a thing. Not a big.
It's 42, Tom.
And I don't do fantasy football league. I keep getting invited to fantasy football leagues for football. I was like, I just want to watch it in a pub and have a beer and then get sad when my team loses. And that's it. Once a
I'm going to
week.
blow your mind. You're still allowed to do that.
but I don't want fucking homework. And that's what fantasy football feels like. Homework, you've got to check on it all the time and change things.
Yeah, but it's like having
Jesus.
responsibility. It's like you've got a team, Carl.
And I don't want a team. I want to support another team that's managed
You want
by
them to do
Big
the work.
Ange.
Big Ange. Oh, you're a Tottenham guy.
I'm a Tottenham fan.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
nice.
It does change a lot of things. I remember I was quite into a fantasy football league when I was at uni, and you're watching games and you're like, successful cross, fuck yeah.
I've got mates who will bet on, like, in soccer we're talking here, like they'll bet on throw-ins. Like how many throw-ins in a match.
That's fun.
But
It's a fun
but it's
bet.
insane. It's the most autistic way to watch sports.
I went to, because yesterday was Anzac Day, and I went to the NRL match that was in Sydney yesterday, Roosters versus Dragons. And
You go every year, don't you?
I go every year.
With
Dad
your
and I
father?
go. Yeah.
Did you make eye contact this year?
Why would we start now? Do you think that's what the Diggers would have wanted?
I did see there was like drag 2 up yesterday, and I was like, it's what they died for.
I saw, I was in, I was down at King's Cross today, and it was, I was like, wow, these people really commemorate the war dead.
I know it looked like a head, but look closer.
That is mental, like, by the way. That sort of, like, how Sydney, like, Anzac Day in Sydney is mad compared to anywhere else in Australia.
I don't know whether I think that we are slowly as a country just like kind of accepting, well, Australia Day is kind of dead, so we have to do it this day instead.
Right.
I think it is slowly escalating.
Yeah, so they've sort of consolidated it into
I think
Anzac
so,
Day.
yeah.
Yeah, just really tried to take advantage of the anti-Turkish sentiment.
Yeah, it's
But no, it's just like, I don't know why Sydney is like the 2 up, Anzac Day goes the hardest by so far.
Is that right? No one
yeah.
else does it?
No one else does it like this.
I've been in Melbourne for Anzac Day, and it is there is a bit of it, but like it's more the actual dawn service and all that is the main thing.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit of the pub stuff, but here it is like fuck that shit.
Yeah, but just all day going so hard.
man.
I think I saw like an Instagram story. Someone was betting shoes yesterday.
Oh man.
It's just
great.
like 2 shoes on a head. Another guy's like, I'll match it. Which is great.
That is awesome.
That's super funny. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Like I hosted 2 up a few years. Yeah, and like it's fun. People get into it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, and the like the people are actually in the Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever. Like, you know, the Air Force obviously very emotional.
Yeah, of course.
When
Yeah,
it
yeah.
comes up tails, they get quite sad. But like they you know, they get treated with a lot of respect as well. It's like, it's nice. Like, it's just kind of like fun, but like, yeah, good on you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And they fuck heaps. Like, I don't know if you've spoken to anybody.
The military?
Yeah, the military on Anzac Day, brother.
Oh, nice.
They wear the uniform and they fuck heaps.
Yeah.
I'm talking like twice in the day. Like, you know, they got a post-dawn service, then a post-2 up, maybe a bit of midnight snack. They fucking tear it, brother. They love it. It's super funny because like they just get up and they're so drunk, and chicks like, yeah. It's awesome to see. I love seeing it.
That's great. I was walking to the dawn service yesterday, and as we're walking,
Oh, you went to the dawn service?
I went to the dawn service.
Sorry, this is just fun because like I emceed Tom's wedding, and what I found out during Tom's wedding is like the first time him and his now wife were found to be dating was at the Anzac Day dawn service.
Because we used to work together.
Okay.
And we'd been together for like literally, I think our first date was March 29th. And then April 25th, obviously, we were at the dawn service and our boss was there.
Okay.
And he was like, what are you guys? Like, oh, well, lest we forget.
Busted.
Just like, these guys fucking love the tunes, brother.
But we're on our way to the dawn service, and as we went, I'm listening to this guy talk to this girl who's like kind of walking in front of us on the way to the service, and he's like talking about a trip that he took to South America. And he's like, so we were on a bus from Peru to wherever, and you just like had to take just get on the bus and lie down for like 14 hours. Can you imagine anything worse? Like, hopefully you're about to.
Yeah, dude. Some people went over the top. I went under the top. Dude. All right, we should get a quick ad read in because we're fucking powering.
Can I just quickly say, at the game yesterday, my dad said one of the most dad things ever at live sport we're watching. Like, it's going to the video referee, like the VAR, and they're playing it up on the screen. It's brand new stadium. We're watching the screen. My dad goes, fuck, check out the quality on that screen.
Yeah, nice.
It's like, unbelievable.
That is sick.
Yeah, it's such a dad thing to say.
All right, Carl. This podcast is brought to you by Pilot Men's Health.
Yes,
And what we do is every week we write an ad for each other to read out. As the guest, I've written an ad for you. As you saw me writing it in front of you, probably not my best work, but
here we go.
Just guess I can do it. Just read it out, have fun.
Top of the morning to you. Is that because of my Irish roots?
No, I just thought you got a fun voice.
Okay,
you got a very
cool.
smooth voice.
Thank
I thought
you.
just saying "G'day floggers" or "Hey floggers"
Top
was
of the morning
wasted.
to you, floggers.
Yeah,
it's
there we
me, very London comedian Carl Donnelly. Now, I know we're usually helping you get that dick hard, but honestly, I'm chock-a-block right now. I do have a confession, though. For years, I was a bald man. Not a Baldwin, but a bald man. I had a shaved head, not by choice. These are not my political beliefs. And then, what does that bit mean? And then my hair grew back. I said it was natural. I said it wasn't Turkish, but I was lying. I'd been on Pilot for years, but still shaving in anticipation of a beautiful hair reveal. Not just taking it, but shelving it on a bi-daily basis to really make this hair strong. So get on it, floggers. Pilot hair made hairy, really hairy. Save $20 on your first order with promo code FLOGGERS20. Is that a real Pilot fit? Is Pilot a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Oh,
It's
is
a
it
real
real?
product.
Offices right now.
Is that a real advert? Because people did think I know a few people that thought I had hair plugs because I had to shave, but you can see it's still thin up there. It's just I've grown it
I was
out.
going to say it's not thin at all.
Oh no,
I was like, this is a hell
so
of a-
that I've got a thin crown, same as my dad, my brother. But when I first saw it, I thought that was the end.
Yeah,
So I
right.
shaved my head, and I shaved my head for 5 years because I thought once I started getting that, it was gone forever.
Yeah, right.
It turns out it's just thin there.
Because
So
I got to be honest, in preparation for this, I did Google you, and you've had a lot of different looks.
I've had loads of different looks. Anyone would think I've suffered with self-esteem issues over the years.
I just thought you just made a lot of escapes. Started a lot of new lives.
A lot of restarts.
There's as many Carl Donnellys as George Foremans.
Yeah. No, I just used to have would just change my look every sort of year or 18 months.
Yeah, right.
Purely because I was just trying something different.
How long have you been rocking this one for?
This one's actually probably been the most consistent for quite some time.
Okay.
I reckon this is 4 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 4 years I've just been, right, hair and tash, done. I think I'm happy with this for the foreseeable as well.
It's a good look.
It's quite a good
It's a good
middle-aged guy look. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty classic.
Mm.
You know, it's nothing too
Good
wild.
comedian look, I think.
Well, I think the tash. I think a tash is a nice
Yeah.
thing to have.
I mean, I like, not to be rude in any way, shape, or form. I've found that the regulation tash is so common now.
Yeah,
That's why I've gone a bit handlebar.
yeah. You've gone quite big.
Because I'm just kind of like, this one, everyone's on it.
Yeah,
And I want to look weirder.
Oh, every now and then I
Yes.
see a video of Dan without a mustache. It's very upsetting.
I think I've seen one
Oh.
actually. Yeah, it's odd.
It's bad.
Yeah, but
bad.
it's like me now. Like I've had one long enough. Once you've had it for I think even I had one before as well. So before I grew my hair back, I've probably had a tash on and off now for about 6 or 7 years. And yeah, I'd be worried if I shaved it, my daughter would cry.
Well,
Because
funny story.
yeah.
My dad always had a beard.
Yeah.
And my parents split. And one day when I was like 6, he came over, beard shaved.
Boy.
And I was just like, Mum, who is that? She's like, that's your father. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Oh no.
And I was just like terrified. I was like, what is this man?
Yeah.
So don't do it.
No, I think it's once. I do think it's one of them things where once you've got one, it's sort of you're in.
This is life now.
Well,
Yeah.
my wife is, I shaved it for her sister's wedding at one point and she subsequently banned me from shaving it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
yeah,
not
yeah,
happy
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It looks odd.
Have you ever gone one?
I can't. Wish I could.
What
You
about the
could
rest
get
of
one.
it? Beard? You look like you could grow a little beard.
Not really. Like it's real patchy on the top lip, and like it's kind of like it's neck beardy.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you
yeah.
go mutton chops?
Not. I don't think it'd be good.
It wouldn't be good.
No.
But I'd like it.
Which is what's more important.
I'm not leading you to glory.
Yeah.
This isn't about you.
Yeah, this is about the chops, brother. Carl, there's only one question we ask our guests.
Yes.
Where'd you go to school? Very Sydney question.
Name of school or area?
We'll just name and then we can dive in.
Primary school was St Boniface Roman Catholic Primary School in Tooting Broadway, South London.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the most thorough answers we've ever received.
Tooting Broadway is a great name.
It's nice here. It was a shit area.
Oh, okay.
But now it's quite. I've moved back to where I grew up, and it's way nicer now than it was when I grew up there.
Yeah,
which is sort of quite interesting. To
places do that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's that funny gentrification thing where normally, it's odd that I've moved back to an area that I was actually from, and it's now that I've seen the gentrification from both sides. But yeah, my school was quite a nice little Catholic primary school.
Small, large?
Small.
In
small
my head,
school.
London school's huge, all huge.
This one was quite small. Like weirdly, I walk past it now and again. It looks tiny when I walk. Obviously, I was little at the time.
Do you have silver seats in the UK?
Silver seats.
Silver seats.
What's that?
What's it?
Like those silver seats, like that all Australian primary schools have, like they're kind of like small off the ground, just like kind of like a long silver kind of aluminium bench.
No.
Right.
Wait, are you doing it in a classroom?
No, out in the playground.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because they're the things that I always feel are small.
I remember
They come up like half a shin. You're like, whoa, I
I
used
don't
to sit
remember
on
there
that.
being any seating in our playground. Once you're out for break, you are not sitting down.
Yeah.
Dude, no wonder you're taking advantage of airplanes now. Huh? Fuck, you telling me I got a seat for how long? Sign me up. And there's recess. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. So how many people in a year?
I have no idea. But I reckon it was a pretty small school. Just physically looking at it, it's small. My secondary school was much bigger.
So what was the secondary school?
So I actually moved around a bit. So I went to a very rough secondary school called Bishop Thomas Grant. And I actually left after a year because it was going wrong. And so my parents, who had almost zero to do with my education, like they were just rough Irish people, but they just had the wherewithal to get me out of there and move me to another school. Because my primary school had this weird thing where everyone either went to this school or that school. Like it's split. So some of my mates went to Bishop Thomas Grant, some of my mates went to St. Thomas's, and like I just went to BTG. But actually, when I moved to St. Thomas's, and it was great. Like my mates there were way cooler and not as feral.
Yeah.
So but that was a middle school, which is a weird thing we've got in the UK we don't have here.
We learned about this with Milo Edwards, didn't we?
Yeah. So I went to middle school at St. Thomas's, and then a year later I went to Wimbledon College, which was just a proper secondary. It was an all boys Jesuit Catholic school.
Right.
And Jesuits are like hardcore Catholics. And it's also where Tom Holland, who is now Spider-Man, went to. But people, a few. But I think he might have left because he got bullied too bad. I don't know. Don't quote me on that because I might probably get me sued by
that
Spider-Man.
Spider had bitten him sooner.
But I think it got quite. It was a roughish school, but by the time I left, it got even rougher.
Oh, the Wimbledon one.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really fancy to me.
Wimbledon?
College.
It
I'm
looked
just picturing
fancy.
white polo shirts and little shorts.
It looked fancy.
And everyone's drinking Pims.
Up on a hill next to a big church. It looked like bloody Hogwarts.
Right.
But it was rough as guts. And we were right next to King's College, which is a very posh private school where comedian Ed Gamble went.
Yes.
And we used to bully them.
You used to bully them?
Yeah.
Were you in there? Were you a good bully?
No, I was the little fat kid who was good at feeding lines to the bullies.
And feeding himself.
Feeding sweets to my belly.
I'd feed them lines, they'd feed me.
But it was so I was that was my defense mechanism was like if I can be funny enough that the bullies like me, they won't call me fat all the time and make me want to kill myself.
I love the idea of you being like a ghostwriter for bullies.
Yeah.
Like pitching lines to them every Monday morning. Like, what do you got for us?
Yeah, in the writer's room, just fuck, man.
I was thinking, that guy John. What if you called him gay? Write it down.
It's too easy to do that last week. Guys, we've got to elevate the form here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe something surreal. That's sick.
Yeah.
So wait, it was like there were two schools. You went from your primary school.
So I went primary school to a secondary school, left that secondary school, went to a middle school, went from middle school to another secondary school. And that was
a lot of moving around without moving, like living in the same house the whole time sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, I had a little bit of different. We moved at one point because my parents split up for a bit. I lived in a pub for a while. It was bad for everyone involved.
It's not as glamorous as it sounds.
Let's not talk about that traumatic period of my life.
Dude, this all just sounds very British to me for some reason. You know what I mean? It's very like UK, obviously Irish. Like,
Yeah.
but like, Just kind of like, we lived in a pub for a bit, rough school, this school, Wimbledon College, bullied these guys. I was eating sweets. I was like, fuck, was there a chimney sweep? This is sick.
It was the archetypal, London upbringing.
Wimbledon College, like I got maths on centre court.
They picked all the ball boys and ball. We were a boys' school. There was a girls' school called Ursuline next road over, so we were affiliated. And when you got to 16 at the college chunk, you were joined up. So everyone's desperate for 16. We're going to get the girls. but they picked all ball boys and ball girls for Wimbledon tennis. They were picked from our school and another school.
That's pretty cool.
So loads of my mates were ball boys on centre court and stuff.
Yeah, right.
One of my mates, Aidan, he was very entrepreneurial, and he used to sell his all his merch, like all the ball boy hats and that, to Japanese tourists for a fucking fortune, and then go into the office in the day and be like, I lost my cap. And like, he literally would have made he was making and this was, this would have been 1998. He was like making like 200 quid a day, like just from pretending to lose his merch.
That's so good.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love when he said entrepreneurial in that tone. I was like, well, this is some criminal, like light criminal activity, which I rate. I do like a high school get rich quick scheme. Yeah,
he was great. There was another guy called Chris Gottwald who he was the first kid to get a really good home printer. I know there's a point to this. He started making fake IDs when we were 16.
Oh wow!
And he knocked out the best fake NUS cards, which was the National Union of Students. And so we all had these amazing looking student cards that said we were at university and we were 19. And it just got us in every pub in Southwest London. So it was like he used to charge £5 per card, and he must have he sold them to probably 200 kids.
So he was just a god.
Yeah, great.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah. That's
great. My friend had this great one with a fake ID, because fake IDs here, I don't know, because you guys drink at 18 as well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of if you were young for a year, you get a fake. Otherwise, you just kind of wait. And just go house parties, older brother would buy it, blah, blah, blah. One of my mates, I remember he went into the RTA, which is our kind of services, I guess, saying he was his brother who'd lost his ID.
Nice.
And he would like a replacement ID, please. And they were taking ages doing it. And he just freaked out. He was like, fuck, they're onto us. Run.
Oh.
And then in the mail, one day, it was the day of a concert, we had to be above 18, and that's why I was getting in the first place. It was that's serendipitous. Mail from the RTA, you forgot to pick up your ID. Here it is, a government issued license with his photo.
That's amazing.
Bulletproof.
That's amazing.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a doctor now.
Or so he says.
Yeah, dude, the fake ID, the scratchy, I remember that, it's a scratchy, you do the tilt in the light.
What's no?
Oh, we use paper.
So ours were.
How old are you?
So ours were paper, it was a blue NUS card but it was in a plastic.
Oh, it was laminated.
You laminated, yes. And he had a laminator as well. So that's it. He had he had the full setup.
When he said, "I got the first printer," I was like, "How good was this printer?"
Well, it was one of them for the original sort of mid 90s.
Yeah.
Laser printers. Yeah, but it was a laser one. And it was good.
What a sound effect to attempt on a podcast. What's going on with Tom? Is he really getting off on the sound exact? Red hot. The first sound effect. 36 episodes in. Let's give it a bash.
I went for it and I'm like, worst case, we'll just move on. Boy, was I proven wrong.
I do. Yeah, I love the fucking. There was one thing. Oh, I don't know. Okay, this is a genuine. I don't know if we should talk about it, but it's fine. There was this key card scam that you could do in Australia where we'd contact some shifty Asians. That's who I knew, and you'd say that your key card got stolen, and you and your mate's key card got stolen. You give it to them. They put
key card for
the bank, a debit card.
Oh, okay.
And they put a fake currency on it. And then withdraw real currency from the ATM at the same time before the bank would figure it out. They'd take out 10 grand, give you $1,000. And that was a scam.
I'm very confused.
Tom, sorry. Fraud.
Yeah.
They were committing
hang
fraud.
on, so where was hang on, so whose name was on the bank account?
Just whoever. You just be like, my car got stolen.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then
so
feed it through.
You call my card's been stolen, and it's done just in that window.
No. Like you give them the card, they do that, and then you say card got stolen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, that's a good one.
I mean,
That's highly illegal. That is a really good one. As somebody who likes a bit of crime, that is top notch.
soft spot for some crime.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting closer to why you're on the run.
Yeah.
Figuring it out. Don't mind a spot of crime. Yeah, but I just feel that was like, I remember my mate was like, "Do you want to be like a part of this?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah. So
And my mate was like, "I would like to be," and he still can't bank with the Commonwealth.
yeah.
There's still one mate that's like, "No."
Yeah.
He was like, "It was stolen, I swear." Like, yeah. Good gear.
Yeah.
I like it. We got to go soon. Oh,
No.
I don't know. We're having a lovely time. Like, are you married to an Australian lady?
Yes.
How do you feel about us as a nation?
I think it's all right. I
Did
like
you meet her
it.
over there or over here?
I met her at the Adelaide Fringe 10 years ago.
10 years
Wow.
ago?
Yeah.
How long have you been together?
10 years.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, we've been together. Yeah, so we actually met in 2013. We've been together since, I think, late 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she work in comedy as well?
She does. She's got a few different jobs. She does a bit of acting. She works in comedy and she works in the music industry as well.
Yeah, wow.
She's got a few like plates spinning.
So was she doing a show at the Adelaide Fringe same time as you?
She was, yes. And and then we sort of long distance, and then she moved to she wanted to live in London, so she moved over with me, and
Nice.
the rest is history.
bit of Skype in the interim.
There was, yes, and that was in the early days. Long distance relationship, there was a bit of Skype.
Do you like, because obviously today's lighting setup is far superior than what we usually do, and any vloggers who watch us on YouTube will have figured that out. Do you think this would be good for jerking off on a webcam?
I know.
Or do you think it like bad lighting?
No, I mean, I think just the sheer size of these lights would be intimidating. Like even the room is too big. It feels like you're on set. Whereas I think for the, if you are into, sort of Skype sex, if you're going to have that, I think you want to be in a very intimate location, low lighting. Yeah, just like, keep it
Small.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that just to make you seem by comparison?
No,
or?
I just think it's more for your own comfort. I think you'd want to make yourself as comfortable as possible. You don't want to feel like there's anything going to put you off.
Sure, like in a large room, there's a slight echo.
Yeah, it's gross, isn't it?
Me holding a boom mic.
It's disgusting when you actually think about it. It's quite disgusting to do it, isn't it?
Sex.
Yeah, just sex.
It's
Dude, I didn't realize you had the same upbringing as Tom.
literally-
Yeah, I know.
That's where piss comes from. Some people, no shade on the gays, are putting it where shit comes from. No, but you know what I mean? When you actually do, I don't know. I sometimes do think, there's something, it's disgusting. But but luckily it's fun, isn't it? Like, so if it wasn't fun, no one would do it.
If it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
What about to continue the species?
Fuck the
You
species.
said you were Irish, brother. I assume you're one of many, as are both my parents.
Well, weirdly, no, just two of us. Like, we weren't.
Huh.
Yeah, my parents were pretty. They kept a lid on it, I think.
Literally.
Yeah. And yeah, but they have family. Like, yeah, they were. My dad was one of 7 or something. My mum was one of 6. Yeah, they really used to spit them out.
Dude, my dad 8, my mum 6.
Ooh.
Yeah. Get them out, the Irish.
I know.
Don't mind it. It just seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But is it just like, surely it's that kind of thing where you just have enough that then they just kind of take care of, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Kind of like having a franchise.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we take care of the first 3 kids and they take like a Ponzi scheme of childcare.
Yeah.
Just like you take care of those 3, then you take care of those 3, and the last one, who the fuck knows where they are? I just hope they're alive.
Yeah.
And if they die, it doesn't. We got 6. We're good.
It was why. I mean, obviously, there's loads of theories as to why people aren't having as many kids in terms of people aren't as fertile as they used to be.
That's true.
What is it? What's your thoughts? That's a big question to sort of end on, I suppose, as we get to the end.
Is it like, you mean it's true fertility? As in
I
people
think fertility
are unable
is.
to have kids?
Well, I think fertility levels are dropping,
Yeah, right.
and there's loads of theories.
But do they measure fertility levels in how many children people are having? Like, is it a results
I
based, or is it like jizz is less potent?
I think jizz is less potent.
Okay.
In especially in Western countries, our jizz is really bad. We got bad jizz.
Look, I came to America for a new life, and it's really unfortunate how it's all happened.
I want to say the quality of jizz has declined since we started letting in all these immigrants.
Let me tell you something about backpacker jizz. I prefer immigrant jizz.
Yeah, it's got to be. I suppose it's got to be lifestyle related, hasn't
For
it?
sure, surely.
What, sedentary, more processed foods? We're doing all that. We just
It's gotta
flew
be.
right in the water. Like, what are we putting out there?
Just
Processed food would make sense. I've also heard laptops. Have you heard this?
On the lap.
On the lap. Apparently
Yeah.
that's a real issue.
How many people are doing that though? I don't.
Less
It
now.
keeps my dick warm during the Skype sex. Let's have a little radiator on there.
I don't reckon that's as big a problem.
Yeah,
as,
okay.
it's got to be something bigger.
Is it both genders?
All
genders?
Come on. Shit.
Don't worry, brother. We're not in Melbourne anymore. We're back in Sydney, baby. But
I think so. Yeah.
But surely, I mean, just the obvious is having children later.
Yeah, there's probably that as well. That it gets harder. You're right. Yes.
Because that's it. Because back in the day, it's like you're 21. What happened? Now it's like you're 31.
Let's be honest. Back in the
Wait.
day, going hundreds of years ago, it was like, oh, you're 12. You're ready. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Just another thing Carl Donnelly's run away from.
Do you want to be?
Back in the good old days.
Do you want to be a dad or the lead in Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah. It's I think it's probably that. It's probably the window of opportunity is smaller than it used to be.
We're just pushing it back because we're like we don't want to have as many, so we can wait. And if you're struggling, there's IVF, there's all these things. If you don't want your kids to go to heaven or whatever.
Is that a thing?
No, just a joke.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
What?
like the church had a perspective on that.
On IVF.
I don't think they do.
No.
I thought they're just trying to get as many out as they can.
Yeah, they'll take
They're
it.
trying to
that's
keep up with other religions.
Yeah.
Weird pause on that. What was it going to? There was something. I don't know what it is.
Fertility, IVF,
Nah, it's gone. It's over.
having kids younger.
Do we leave on a whimper?
Oh,
Potentially.
maybe.
I don't know. Might be. I thought there was something early doors in that conversation. How do we get to the fertility thing? I don't know.
Sex being gross.
Sex being gross.
Nah, that wasn't it. I think it's pretty cool.
That's Skype sex.
Skype sex, no, it's even cooler because you keep the grossness all the way on the other side of the equator.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's not for
The
me.
other
It's
side
not
of the
for me.
equator.
yeah. Whenever I was engaging in Skype sex, it was always with women who are in the northern hemisphere.
Right. Yeah.
I like there to be a seasonal difference.
Yeah. But different. That. See, even that is. It's different vibes, isn't it? Like one of you's knocking one out in at lunchtime. Oh, come on. Early morning one. Imagine that. It's like it's 11 p.m. here, or what is it? No, what would it have to be like?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Night time here, and it's like you'd be doing like an 8 a.m. wank.
Yeah, someone's pre-work, some's before bed.
They're like, Carl, we wouldn't have to do this, but you keep leaving the country.
Yeah, I just don't think it's on. I think it's just gross.
That's the message.
In hindsight.
Yeah,
I've done it
at the
all. But at the time, I thought it was fun, and now in hindsight, I feel ashamed.
At the time, like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then, did you ever have that thing where you're in like? Because I was in a few long distance relationships at the time. Because I think it's the funny thing when you're young. You're like, I should be in this long distance relationship. This is a better idea than just us breaking up.
Yeah,
potentially
yeah.
getting back together when we're in the same time
Yeah.
zone. You know, like just like let's see. And it never as like I would love to know if there's anyone who like when they were 20 was in a long distance relationship and it paid. I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who made it through.
Yeah.
Because all you get is resentment. You keep making me jerk off before work. It's very unprofessional.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to finish this university assignment at 11:30 p.m. I don't want to stiffy right now. And then you bring all that back together. You see each other in the same country. You're like, well, this will be fine now that we're in the same place. No. And
Yeah,
then
we
you
haven't
break
changed
up.
at all, have we?
Not at
We're
all.
the same people.
You needed the distance, just the hope to keep it
Yeah,
going. Now the hope is
yeah.
dissipated. You're like, well, see ya.
Yes.
It's not uplifting.
No.
But I just think evidence-based. I'm like, just break up, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, where am I going to find another woman? Anywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
More likely
in the
to find
workplace
one
now.
in the country you're in, actually, than the fact that you've had to sort
Maybe
of
a
outsource
backpacker.
it.
They're available at any hour.
Yeah. True.
If you like masturbating at 11:30, there's an Irish backpacker for you who isn't working at 11:30. Fuck her in a bunk bed. It's weird.
Oh, girl.
I feel like without Hamo being here, I've got to take the gross.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, let's really push the envelope on this one, lads.
And you're doing it great.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Come on, everyone's fucked in a bunk bed at least once. You must have.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Surely. In a dorm? In a mixed dorm? You've given it a go.
Oh no, I've only ever stayed in one of those sort of in a dormitory room, and I was 16. So like that was, and it was all guys. But I've never
I don't know if
ever.
you know, we both went to all boys private schools, so currently you did it.
Okay, yeah. But no, I've never ever like I didn't do backpacking.
No.
No, not at all. Wasn't for me.
Mm.
You know.
For someone who likes to be on the run.
Yeah, but I got into comedy early enough that I just all my traveling when I was in my mid-20s was the early days of comedy. So
Right.
I was touring around but staying in hotels.
Whoa.
Oof.
Must be nice.
Guys.
Must be nice.
Yeah, so I've stayed in some shit like hostel-y type hotels, but I've always managed to avoid up to this point staying in a mixed dorm. So it makes me want to kill myself the thought of it.
Back in the day, I did like it because I was like, hey, this is a bunch of people who have as little on as you.
Yeah.
So you like make friends, you go out together kind of thing.
Yes.
And then watch one of them fuck.
Oh.
On the bottom bunk, let's be fair, the top bunk's just high risk, unsafe. Bottom bunk.
So bottom bunk is the better one, is it?
I think like if you're gonna, the top bunk is just cruelty to anyone
What
on the
about
bottom bunk.
the potential head risk of hitting the...
Ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You've got to keep it quite very horizontal. You've got to pick your positions.
But I don't know
Quite
about you.
carefully.
Like on a top bunk, the thing's moving, you're rolling, you can fall off.
You could also hit the actual ceiling, I suppose.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I thought you meant, actually.
Oh, right. So no, I meant on bottom bunk.
You meant the bottom of the
You're
top.
going to be hitting the slats.
Yeah.
The slats.
Oh.
Bro, you hit those slats last night?
Yeah.
Got a splinter in my head, boys. I do think that if you are fucking in a bunk bed and someone is on top / underneath, like if the girl's on top in a bunk, that's wild. Bunk beds are lateral. Keep it low.
Keep it low.
Turn her on.
Yeah.
Bit of side by side.
I think so, yeah. I think it's probably.
Or, you know, if you're a true king, just doggy, you know? So you can have one hand free for high fives from the other occupants of the dorm.
Risk of, like, you're going to have to be sort of hunched over, and that'll make it look.
Is that not how you do it every time?
I'm a loud and proud, tall, upright. I'm an upright doggy. No, but I think, you know, yeah, you want to sort of, you don't want to hurt your back.
Military posture for doggy?
Chest to back, like you're packing a scrum.
Yeah. I don't like that. That feels disgusting.
No gaps.
No.
Keep it tight.
What about, how do you whisper nice things to them? Thanks for letting me do this. It's my first time. I'll try not to let it out at any point.
What's your Skype address?
Yeah, your ICQ number? You want to run that? Oh, all right. We did it. We're here. Carl Donnelly. We
Hey.
don't know when this will come out. We don't know if
alright.
you'll still be in Australia.
I think I'll be gone, probably.
You'll be gone.
I'm literally around for like another week, 10 days max.
Oh, might not. Yeah, so
So,
what about just where to find you in
I'll be
general?
back in London. I do a podcast called TVI with Julian Dean. Funny man.
Two vegan idiots?
Well, yeah, it used to be called Two Vegan Idiots, and then we realised we'd never ever mentioned veganism. So we dropped it because we thought it's probably putting off more people than it's enticing.
I'm so
it's
sorry.
just called TVI. But no, but a lot of people still refer to it as Two Vegan Idiots.
Okay.
We both happen to be vegan. Although Julian definitely lies and cheats sometimes, I think. So, but yeah, it's just TVI. It's on all the Spotify's and all that business.
Great.
It's good fun.
Like an Instagram handle or whatever?
Carl Donnelly.
Carl Donnelly.
At Carl Donnelly
Done.
on
It'll be in
Twitter
the
and
description as well.
Instagram. And I think I've got a TikTok, but I've not looked at it for a year.
That's all right. We'll
So-
get back in one day. Are you doing Edinburgh this year?
Yes.
All right. Tell me about that. We got some
My
some
show-
international floggers.
My show is called Booscumps.
Boost Gump. That's fun.
Booscumps.
I like it.
It's quite silly, isn't it? And I don't know what it's sort of a version of the show I'm doing in a minute, but I feel like it's going to change a lot between now and then.
Nice. Are you in the yurt again? You
No,
like the yurt?
I'm in the Pleasance Courtyard this
Ooh,
year. I've gone,
hello, fancy boy.
Yeah,
Get
I've
some
gone back to-
reviews.
I've gone back to the expensive fringe.
Mm.
Just I fancy the change. I've been on the little weird off-piste venues for a while. I fancy doing something that's sort of more organised.
Getting out of the yurt.
Yeah.
Good on you. You know, one thing, the yurt, don't need keys. You're good. All right. So the way we end the podcast is you say the phrase, fuck.
We got no bye. To make him say bye.
Yeah, make him say bye. Yeah, usually Andrew Hamilton, he just says it weird though. It's not bye. It's like bye, like that.
Yeah.
So that's how we end. So I'm going to say a thing. He's going to say a thing. Then you say that.
Okay.
All right. Stay flogged up.
What's the other thing I say?
Fuck you. You useless cunt. All right. You say the other one then.
I remember. You go.
Stay flogged up.
Check the dodgems.
Bye.
Pretty good. Pretty
That was
good.
good. That was good.